Then we go to an earlier today at a very nice laundromat. It's in the ground floor, the almost basement level of this building, and there's a lot of exposed brick, and it's much nicer than a typical laundromat.
And it was one of those things about the machine where we're like, yeah, okay, let's do this, and then like just someone shows up from the office, there, be like, oh yeah, we got like a local, you always have some like local PA guys or people that they've hired, and like, we're going to the laundromat. I don't know where the fuck it was, what the neighborhood was, whatever. We go there, we show up high, and then like, what was great about the WWF back then, it was kind of like, as we were talking, like, what if we fuck up machines? And like, what? Like, no one cares. Vince loves that. Send a bill. If business was so hot, there was never like, even if like some laundromat owner would be like, well, don't fuck up with the machines. You'd be like, whatever, just do what you got to do for the show. So like, none of that mattered ever. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to do a remote thing, like, oh, what if we break something? Will someone be mad? Like, fuck no. Nothing makes Vince happier than like, oh, I got to cut a check because I destroyed something. Makes him literally
That's what
happier.
I was going to see, because I was like, oh, this is like a legitimate storefront, like, and like there was points where they were almost busting through the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
and it was just like, oh, that's got to be really fun to know that it's covered.
So fun, yeah. You could have like, as long as it was, especially if it's like, oh, we ruined 3 fucking industrial washers at $3,600 a piece. Was it a great? That would be all the thing. Well, did it look great? Yeah, it looked great. Oh, fine. You know what I mean? Like that's like, especially when you work in entertainment, everyone's so risk averse in companies. But Vince McMahon always said, if I'm not being sued at any given time, I'm not doing my job. That was his attitude. So that was fun. You had someone who had like your back no matter what. Like
yeah.
Like what happened? Wrestlers destroyed the business. No problem. Like we'll send Jerry McDevitt and get him out of jail. Like.
So outside of the laundromat, the posse are working on a plan. They're like, all right, this is the plan. I'm going to go in, blah 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 blah. And then as soon as they go in the laundromat, it all goes to shit. Yeah. They're all fighting with each other. They're jumping on top of each other to attack Crash. What I like is that Crash was all the way at the very end of the laundromat. So you had to like really run through this thing. And then Crash was there. He had a mop, and he threw the mop, I think, at Rodney. And it was a fun brawl. And Crash, of course, escaped.
I think so,
Posse's pissed off. Pete Gas drops a little laundry detergent on Rodney because he's pissed.
Yeah. That was Karo syrup. That was my idea. Be like, we get some of that corn syrup and we'll put blue food dye in it, and it'll we mimic like it's like soap, but then we didn't like rinse the thing out too much. So it was like, it still tasted soapy or whatever. But it was fun. And also what was so you got to realize, like, we pull in this van, we got the camera crew, and I was just like, the camera guys are so seasoned, like, yeah, guys, work it out. Okay, how about I'm here? And, everything is worked out so fast. And it's fascinating for people in the neighborhood, because there's a lot of people in the neighborhood didn't know what was going on in this, like, cool Boston neighborhood. And to just see some, like, older women and stuff that were like, oh, the laundromat's closed. Like, what the fuck's going on? And it happened so fast, and they're just filming this, like, just the confusion of people. And sometimes you'd always be like, oh, try to get like a local, like just their faces to be like, what the fuck? And it was just like, swoop in, fight, camera, swoop out. Like, it's like amazing how fast this shit was done. It was just like 5 minutes, talk through it. And they're all such seasoned pros. All right, I'll do the thing here. Oh, we'll do that. And like, okay, this is cool. And have at it. It's great. So fun.
I love that like you didn't even warn the civilians, so to speak.
No. Yeah.
What's going on. And let's have them freak out.
God damn it. And I worked at Conan O'Brien. We did a lot of stuff, in New York like that. But then, work on different shows and things, and it'd have that attitude. And it was like, what are you doing? You need a permit. We can't do this. And it'd be like, what are you talking about? Wrestling was just so wild. Like, yeah, we just get some owner's permission. And I don't even remember like the owner of the laundromat. Okay, whatever. Stay out of the way. Gagoosh, we're out of here. And then he's got to deal with someone from the office to be if he's mad. I don't even know. It's so fun. Like, yeah, maybe he'll. Who cares? Tim White's bar, destroying it for the third time. He's probably double dipping in insurance. Rest in peace. Oh, whatever. Just like, yeah, doesn't matter. Great.